Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Playing World of Tanks. I'm AJ, and today we'll be looking at a game that I had in the E25 on this map Cliff. Now if you're new to the channel, what I generally do is I take a game that I did really well in, and I generally basically talk about my decision making process and how I play the tank in a certain situation. The reason for that is no tank should ever be played in one and only one way on a certain map. Given that I'm driving an E25, my first decision on this map was, you know what, I'm gonna see if I can take the lighthouse. And the reason for that is the E25 is fairly quick, fairly mobile, very good camouflage. So if I start shooting people from the cliff, there's very little they can do about it, short of somebody coming up there and taking me out. Now this shot here I was willing to take just to get to the top of the lighthouse. And that was okay, Cromwell had my side. I was not going to slow down to take a shot at him. Generally if you slow down, somebody comes to that corner, by the donut is what they say, by the 2-3 line, you're basically going to take way more many shots. So the best thing to do is just to start running up the hill. This shot, however, was very necessary because I could have avoided it. It didn't net me any gains. I did not put one in the Cromwell in return, blah blah blah. So that shot was unnecessary. I should have been slightly more careful. Now since those two are actually on top of the hill, I mean at this point I'm not willing to contest it, so I'm gonna just sit here and chill and wait for something to come within my field of fire and start unloading on them. So until now, the only thing that's actually in my field of fire is an STA that was spotted on the 3 line, but he has since then gone dark, and I'm just waiting until either he gets spotted, and as soon as this chaffee spots me, I run for the cover. I don't know whether the SDA actually was pre-aimed up here. I didn't want to take a chance. In the meantime, the Cromwell has actually taken a hit from our ISU. Shout out to our ISU. He played a terrific game. He basically carried us in many respects. So with him, assisting me, I'm able to take this hill. The chaffee comes around the corner and shoots the building, and I managed to put one into him. Now the chaffee decides to YOLO into an E25, which is a very bad idea. The E25's traverse is very good. Again, I take him out with relative ease, and now the hill is secured. If you see me hugging this lighthouse during this entire gameplay, just keep in mind that there's an RD in the game, and I'm trying to be RD safe as much as I can. And when I think I'm not spotted, I go and do things like this. Now this KV3 is actually not paying attention to what's happening on the hill. Most people actually don't. I am actually guilty of it as well. So I put 2 shots into the KV3, back off, he fires, misses me completely, which gives me an open invitation to put 2 shots into him again. And then I back off again, just because his reload I think is roughly 8 seconds, and I did not want to risk taking another shot from him. Now I go do something else, just because if the KV3 is gonna stare at me for the rest of the game, it's his choice. I can be more useful elsewhere. I decide to go back just to see if the KV3 was still looking up. Yep, he is. And at this point I decide to come and focus my field of fire on this field, just because we have just lost it completely. And if we get surrounded from this side, the T-32 that's holding the corner at the 8-9 line, he's gonna die as well. Now I try to spot things for my team, and the ISU probably responds by taking one of the tanks who was coming through the fields out. Again, I was spotted, but these people are not paying attention to the hill, and I make them pay by putting 2 shots into the Panther 88, and then 2 shots into the Panther M10. Again, I take a shot from the Panther 88, but again, that was an unnecessary shot, because the last time, if you go back and see, the Panther 88 starts aiming his gun in my direction, that means he was actively trying to figure out whether he wants to shoot me or not, and I just sat in the same spot, gave him a very easy shot. Now I'm using the slope of the hill to cover that side from the Panther 88, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take out the Panther M10. Now Panther 88 goes around the corner, and right about, I think now is when the ISU just slaps him in the face as well, because he just pokes one way too many times and he gets taken out as well. That leaves only the Panther 88 on this side of the field that could actually circle the T-32. He comes into the open, and again, this is him not paying attention to the fact that I'm sitting on the hill, and an E25 spotted to a lot of people, and I can shoot him if he decides to hop building to building. Now, if we look at the map, the AMX 5100 has come around the corner, and he started unloading on the tanks that were sitting by our cap. Again, this could have been disastrous if the Hellcat was looking up the hill. He isn't, and I take him out, which makes it a one-on-one situation with the T-32, and then I go back, hug the lighthouse again. If you want to avoid RD, that's one of the best things to do. If you get hit once by the RD, or if you think you're going to get hit by the RD, just relocate a bunch of times, you know, to different spots on the map. The RD is like XVM sniping. After a while, they will actually give up on trying to hit you. Now, I was actually thinking at this point that the T-32 on the enemy team would actually come through the field as well, because, you know, seeing how the 5100 must have spotted the ISU in that corner, and I was thinking, you know what, I wonder where the T-32 is, and as soon as I decide to go over in that direction, I spot the T-32 coming on the hill. Now, one of the other things that you want to keep in mind, and it's a skill that I haven't even mastered as well, is to play with patience and know when you are in a disadvantageous position. I know I can't actually harm the T-32. I can, but I would actually die in the process. I'm much more useful to my team alive than I'm dead. So as soon as I'm unlit on the other side of the hill, I make a beeline and go down. Now again, this decision was somewhat pretty quick. If I'd waited long enough, maybe the T-32 gets wise to what I'm doing. He might have actually spotted me going down, could have put a shot in the back, and I could have died. The reason I didn't is because I just made the quick decision and started moving. And I spot the GW Panther, who is going over to our side. Now, I'm actually feeling much more safe now, because when RD's in the game, I always feel there's a target on my back, because I don't have XVM and I plan on using it. And but most of the people actually do, especially a lot of RD players, and what they will do is they'll find the player, not who is in the best spot, but who is the best player. Even if he is not in a good spot, they will just go out of their way to shoot him. And so I felt like there was a target on my back for the most of the game. Again, if you saw me hesitate to go forward, that was because the GW Panther could have proxy lit me, and that AMX 5100 could kill both me and the ISU. So unfortunately for that moment, I had to leave the ISU on his own, but he played a terrific game along with our T-32, who was a star holding that corner by himself. Again, I turn around and wait until the 5100 thinks that he's, you know, no longer lit, or, you know, I'm going someplace else. And this is one of the many reasons you don't want to cap, because you are basically screaming your position right now to the enemy team, and he just makes this so easy. I actually felt bad for him. You know, their team had every right to win this, and the only reason why he didn't is he didn't play his tank aggressively enough. Was he killed the ISU, he should have just come after me or the T-32, and he actually didn't. He decided capping was the best solution. But if you're set up for a proper defense, sure, you can do something about capping. Like, I mean, one of the 113 games, that's what I did. But if you're not, then there's nothing you can do. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll try to make a concerted effort to be a little more better. Not a little more better, that's an oxymoron. Be better at talking. I know some of you have like commented in the past. I do take that into consideration, so in case you're new, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I talk about world tanks and how I make certain decisions all the time, and I think that's what separates good players from the bad players. And hopefully I'll get to see you in the next episode of playing World of Tanks.